Ms. Miller, you're here to prove to your ex-boyfriend, Scotty Rasmussen, that he is not the father of your 3-year-old daughter, Zaylie Rasmussen.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rasmussen, you claim the real reason Ms. Miller is denying your Zaylie's father is because she hates you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Imagine dedicating your whole life to a child, only to find out years later that you might not even be her father. But the woman who was supposed to be by your side all along kept you in the dark. In today's case, we're diving into the emotional and tense courtroom drama of Miller versus Rasmussen. It's a case that will make you question what's real and what's not when it comes to family, trust, and the truth. Ms. Miller claims that Mr. Rasmussen is not the father of her 3-year-old daughter Zaylie, and has repeatedly denied his requests for a DNA test. However, Mr. Rasmussen has been financially and emotionally invested in Zaylie since birth. He's raised her, loved her, and stood by her, but now he's fighting for his right to know the truth about his paternity. A battle over custody, DNA, and the rights of a father who feels like he's been deceived, all while a little girl's life hangs in the balance. What happens when the stakes are this high and the truth seems just out of reach? The case of Miller versus Rasmussen began with a complicated relationship between two people, Ms. Miller and Mr. Rasmussen. They were once in a romantic relationship and had a daughter together, Zaylie, but their relationship quickly became tumultuous. Over time, things deteriorated, with infidelity being a significant issue. According to Mr. Rasmussen, he admits to making a mistake and cheating, but that was during a time when the couple was already facing challenges. He claims that after their breakup, Ms. Miller accused him of being the cause of their problems and has since tried to cut him out of their daughter's life. Ms. Miller, on the other hand, tells a different story. She says that Mr. Rasmussen was unfaithful throughout their entire relationship, and it was because of his cheating that their bond broke. She insists that despite everything, she doesn't hate him, but she's skeptical about his claim to be Zaylie's father. She believes that another man might be the real father, as Zaylie was conceived while Mr. Rasmussen was far away in Las Vegas. Ms. Miller argues that she was in a relationship with another man during that time. However, despite their complicated past, Mr. Rasmussen has been steadfast in his involvement with Zaylie. He regularly drives 160 miles each way to see her and has been financially supporting her. He's signed the birth certificate, and Zaylie carries his last name. His devotion to her has been clear. But despite all this, Ms. Miller has denied his request for a DNA test multiple times, leaving him in the dark about his true biological connection to Zaylie. As the case unfolds, both sides present their claims. Mr. Rasmussen is fighting to prove he is Zaylie's father, while Ms. Miller continues to insist that there's another possibility, one that could change everything. This case raises the question of whether a bond can exist without biological certainty, and how far someone will go to protect or deny that connection. Mr. Rasmussen also points out that Zaylie carries his last name, a symbol of the bond they've shared since her birth. Furthermore, Mr. Rasmussen stresses the importance of a father-daughter relationship, claiming that it is not about money or child support. The long drives, the emotional connection, and the love he's poured into his daughter's life are proof enough for him that he is her father. His desire for a DNA test is rooted not in doubt, but in a need for truth and closure. He argues that Ms. Miller's refusal to provide him with a DNA test is unjust, especially when he has shown unwavering support and love for Zaylie. On the other side, Ms. Miller contends that Mr. Rasmussen is not Zaylie's father. Her primary argument is based on the timeline of Zaylie's conception. She claims that Mr. Rasmussen was out of state in Las Vegas during the time Zaylie was conceived, and that she was involved with another man at the time. Ms. Miller emphasizes that she has never hated Mr. Rasmussen, but instead believes that another man is the real biological father of Zaylie. She argues that because of this, she has every right to deny Mr. Rasmussen's request for a DNA test. She says that when Zaylie was born, she thought everything would work out between them, but the relationship crumbled due to Mr. Rasmussen's infidelity. Ms. Miller's suspicion is also tied to her observation of Zaylie's physical traits. She believes the child's appearance closely resembles the other man she was involved with, not Mr. Rasmussen. However, she acknowledges that Mr. Rasmussen has been involved in Zaylie's life, but she doubts the biological connection. Despite this, she has not taken action to remove him from child support, instead suggesting that he would no longer have to pay if he simply signed away his rights to the child. In essence, the case boils down to a battle between love, belief, and biological truth. Mr. Rasmussen is fighting for his paternal rights, while Ms. Miller is focused on protecting her version of the truth, which involves another man as the potential biological father. Both sides bring personal emotion, trust issues, and past history into the courtroom, complicating the issue of what's best for Zaylie. The courtroom drama in Miller v. Rasmussen intensifies as emotions run high and both parties exchange powerful, conflicting statements. The tension builds from the very beginning when Mr. Rasmussen expresses his frustration over Ms. Miller's refusal to let him take a DNA test. As the judge questions Ms. Miller about her reasons for denying the test, it's clear that there's more to this case than just paternity. Mr. Rasmussen claims that his ongoing involvement with Zaylie, despite their difficult relationship, shows that he is dedicated to being a father. The courtroom listens intently as he passionately describes the miles he drives each weekend just to see his daughter, highlighting the sacrifices he's made. He insists that his devotion to Zaylie is what truly matters, not the technicalities of whether he is her biological father. Meanwhile, Ms. Miller's responses create a stark contrast. She insists that Mr. Rasmussen's involvement is not about love, but rather financial gain, alleging that he wants visitation rights simply for tax purposes. This accusation fuels the tension in the room. The audience can sense the deep-rooted anger between the two, with Ms. Miller accusing Mr. Rasmussen of cheating throughout their relationship and sabotaging any chance of reconciliation. The courtroom becomes a stage for their unresolved issues, with each side throwing accusations, blaming the other for their failed relationship. The turning point occurs when Mr. Rasmussen shows a photo of himself as a child, claiming that Zaylie looks remarkably similar to him. He argues that their physical resemblance further solidifies his belief that he is her father. Ms. Miller dismisses the idea, suggesting that Zaylie looks more like the other man she was involved with. The judge, skeptical of Ms. Miller's explanation, demands clarity on why she has kept the information about the other man a secret for so long. The room becomes charged with emotion as the truth begins to unravel. In the most dramatic moment, the DNA test results are read aloud. The tension in the air is palpable. The courtroom holds its breath as the judge declares that Mr. Rasmussen is not the father. The shock of the decision reverberates throughout the room. Mr. Rasmussen's face falls, visibly devastated by the revelation. His world, built on the belief that he was Zaylie's father, is shattered in an instant. Ms. Miller, who had been so adamant about the possibility of another man being the biological father, reacts with an emotion that seems to mix relief and guilt. Her silence in the face of the court's decision speaks volumes. As the judge chastises Ms. Miller for her lack of compassion, calling out her behavior towards Mr. Rasmussen, the drama intensifies further. The courtroom watches in stunned silence. As the truth hits everyone involved, Mr. Rasmussen's love and dedication were never enough to change the outcome. The courtroom becomes a place of reckoning where personal stakes are exposed and emotions overflow in a battle for truth, love, and family. The judgment in Miller versus Rasmussen delivers a gut-wrenching blow to Mr. Rasmussen. After all the emotional testimony, the countless miles driven, and his unwavering commitment to Zaylie, the DNA results reveal that he is not her biological father. The courtroom is stunned into silence as the judge announces the devastating news. For Mr. Rasmussen, this verdict shatters everything he believed about his relationship with Zaylie. His world crumbles as years of dedication and love are erased with one sentence. It's a moment of deep personal loss, as he realizes that the child he has poured his heart into is not his, despite everything he's done for her. The impact on Mr. Rasmussen is immense. His pain is evident as he struggles to process the reality of the situation, the emotional weight of years spent thinking he was her father, only to have the truth tear that apart, leaves him feeling heartbroken. It's not just about the loss of paternity, it's the loss of a bond he thought was unbreakable. His role in her life, no matter how meaningful, is now in question. On the other hand, Ms. Miller's reaction is less about regret and more about a strange sense of relief. She doesn't show much empathy for Mr. Rasmussen's pain, which stirs. Tension in the courtroom. The judge chastises her for lacking compassion, pointing out that Zaylie's well-being should have been her primary concern. The impact of the case leaves the courtroom reflecting on the consequences of a mother's choices, and how much damage can be done when the truth is kept hidden, especially when it involves a child's future. The case ultimately questions the value of biological connection and the importance of honesty in the pursuit of justice. What do you think? Did Mr. Rasmussen deserve the truth from the start? Or was Ms. Miller justified in keeping it a secret? Is there more to this story than we know?